Hello, namaste, ni hao. My name is Kishan, and in today's video, we are going to discuss and we are going to experience the COVID-19 test in China. So, strange thing during this is it's about to complete a 1 year to this pandemic, and there are so many information available throughout the internet, and many of you know about this COVID-19 test already. So mainly there are two types of tests available in the markets. So the first test is called as a swab test, or there are other names like RT-PCR test. Also, we can say the name is nucleic acid test. So there are different types of name, but the meaning is the same. So generally, a doctor or nurse will use a swab, cotton swab, to take the sample from your mouth or maybe from your nose. So how does it work? Let's find out. Just to understand, the virus has RNA in its body. The RNA is a single strand, unlike the DNA, which has a two strand. So, RNA is responsible to pass the information, or we can say pass the disease. So, to identify if any person has a coronavirus, we can take the sample where it is likely to be found, that is, their nose or maybe their throat. So, till the time scientists have gathered some of the information about the coronavirus and its genome, so now we can say we have a somewhat picture of the coronavirus. So, the first test is a PCR test. PCR means polymerase chain reaction. It means you take a specific gene or DNA sample or a copy and you multiply it by maybe a million or billion. So now we have a genome, or let's say a picture of a coronavirus, and we have a sample which we want to detect whether there is a coronavirus or not. But maybe you ask that coronavirus has a RNA and the PCR can only detect the DNA. So here comes the RT. RT means the reverse transcriptase. So the reverse transcriptase, what it does is it will make RNA, the single strand, into the double strand DNA, so that PCR machine can detect the DNA easily. Okay, let's make it very simple. Let's say this is a picture or a code of the coronavirus, and this is our sample. So now we will give instruction to the PCR machine that we want this picture or this code from the sample. So machine will start looking for this, and if the machine will find out this kind of code, it will make it billions and trillions of the copies and we can detect it. And in case of the negative result, machine will not find this kind of a code, so it will not make any kind of a copies. So we can say that this is a negative sample. So this test is very accurate and the sensitivity is also very high. So even if there is a little portion of the virus present in the sample, then also we can easily detect. But there is also some disadvantage. This kind of test takes some time, maybe like a 3 to 5 hours or maybe a days. Also, there is a one disadvantage that it can only tells you that currently the coronavirus present in your body. It will not tell that whether you have been exposed previously or not. It will only give you the present result. So the second type of the test is also called as a serology test, or we can say the antibody test, or simply the blood test. Your body produces the antibody to fight against the virus. Antibodies can be detected by taking the blood sample. This test does not tell you that currently you have any kind of a virus, but it will surely tells you that might be you have been exposed to the virus previously. This test is very simple. You take the blood and you run through the test. You can see over here. So there are mainly three lines. First line is a control line that is called as a C line. Another one is the G and M. So that is represent the IgG and the IgM antibodies. It is necessary to get the control line for any kind of result because the control lines means that your test is working properly. And in case of the positive line G or positive line M, it clearly indicates that you are positive for the IgG or IgM, which indicates the person is exposed to the coronavirus previously. So I'm going to do the first test, that is RT-PCR test. So let's go. Many of you know that in China, since last 3-4 months, there are no new cases, but there are only here and there few cases, like 5 cases or 12 cases, or not so many cases. But the last week in Qingdao, there are only 12 cases reported, and that were linked to one of the hospital where they are treating the COVID patient, and the patient came from out of the country. Unfortunately, I have visited the Qingdao, not the hospital. That is quite far from the downtown area where we have visited. But they say they are going to test all the 9 million people of the Qingdao, and whoever visited during I think 27th September to some October, whoever visited during that time, so they are going to test all the tourists. You can book your visit before going there by the mini apps in the WeChat, like whichever the hospital you want to go. The primary experience is like they asked me to be in the line, and then they asked me to fill some forms in which it is mentioned why I am doing the test, are there any symptoms. So strange thing during this is although there are thermal scanner, and although at the main gate of the entrance they take your temperature by the automatic thermal gun, but even though here they take your temperature with the mercury thermometer. So this is an outpatient area, so it's like a general clinic. You can visit any specialist if you want, and if you are serious you can get admit over there, and it will be like an inpatient. And here is the emergency ward, like you can get here some emergency kind of test or anything. Yeah, so mostly in all the hospital there are like 3 types, like outpatient, inpatient, and emergency wards. This hospital is quite big. This is one of the like finest hospital in the Beijing. Chin Mong, and she helped me to do the test. Thank you. Thank you. So I have the result in my hand, but I think it's in my phone. So I can show you over here. You can see it's negative. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this kind of content, then hit the subscribe button and share this video to your friends. Stay safe and healthy. Peace.